All right. Hello, everyone. We are back with another episode of Pass the Mic. Today, we are joined with a very, very special guest. Hello. So just first off, a little bit more about the show. Pass the Mic is a show that supports Indigenous creators internationally in Africa, South America, Asia, Pacifica, and the Arctic. So we're trying to bring alternative music to the forefront for this platform alone. So for our guests today, we have a sound creator, DJ, sound mixer, house dancer, vinyl DJ collector from inspired by dance culture in the 5pointz hookie parties. I hope I said that correctly. And Cumbia. This creator is making this dynamic sound celebrating and pushing the Andean diaspora as well as the city of New York. So I hope you can share a little bit more about that. How are
Yeah,
you?
good. I don't know. I don't know if you missed it, but my name is also Paway.
Yes.
My name is my name is Chris, but my artist name is slash, artist name Paway. So, which is an indigenous language. It means to fly in Quechua. I'm from Ecuador, so that's, kind of like the native language there. Uh, but yeah, I've been living in New York for, I think I want to say I'm gonna make it 20th year
Wow.
next March. Yeah, so I've been living here for a little bit. In
A little
Queens.
bit.
Yeah. No, that means a lot.
Aha, okay.
Yeah. But yes, I am, like you said, all of those things.
And more.
And more, yes, of course. This is very much packed, and you did say it right, hooky parties, and we can get
Mhm.
to those soon. But that is definitely part of it, part of my journey. But yeah, as I introduced myself, yes, came here when I was 12 years old. Um, and I pretty much kind of like learned a lot about just like music and culture here, kind of just to like learn how to I started learning how to respect my own culture too. Well, I was here in the US, so that, I guess, like, always made me seek into, like, I guess, other cultures too, so like that's why for me, when I saw dancing, for instance, and I think I got I got into dancing through just like watching movies like Stomp the Yard, Step Up. So, all of those, like, dancing movies from like 2000, 8, whatever, 2010, really did a mark on me, but like also music along with that. So, yeah, I started just like, learning how to pop, how to lock, and yeah, and like that was kind of like my entry point, and like I was listening to a lot of hip hop, to a lot of other genres, to like dubstep. um yeah. So, and along with that, that was kind of like my my teenager years.
Mhm.
And along with, like, I think, like, just like the inevitable culture that you get here too is pretty much reggaeton, salsa, um, merengue, all the Caribbean sounds that, they're pretty much like very dominant here in New York. Um, so yeah, and that's, I think this is a good time to go into the hookie parties. Hookie parties is just like, um, yeah, people, I mean, kids in school, high school, basically, that they will skip class and they will go to, they pretty much
Ah.
like, we were my friends, all of our friends were like immigrants, so like
Mhm.
everybody's working, all our parents are working, so we will call this will be like what we call the open crib, When you
Mm.
get the open, we're gonna go there and we're gonna have
Okay.
a hooky party,
Okay,
Someone
so
will,
you're playing hooky from school and having a party. So like literally what it is. Hooky, right?
hold on, I lost you for 1 second. Can you say that again?
I said, so like you're literally playing hooky from school to have a party. That's why it's called a hooky party.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, I get it. All right.
But yeah, it was crazy. Everybody, just a bunch of kids, just like grinding in the walls and stuff like that. Yeah,
Wow.
no, yeah. But there were also,
Mm,
people like they would dance salsa, merengue too. So, and I think that was also like besides of me, like self-teaching myself how to like
mm-hmm,
pop lock. I did have a group of friends that were like very much like influential in my dancing too. Like they will tell me if at the hooky parties, if you're with us, you're gonna learn how to dance.
mm,
So I always had that support, and I think that was like even my entry point to music and like all
mm,
of that. 'Cause I never had this much, I guess, um, just like knowledge into me when I was in Ecuador.
mm-hmm,
Like we do dance, but I think they're more, over there, I think it's more cumbia. And I think that's why I also wanted to bring at some point.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, I think like that's when I, started even like learning how to dance salsa, merengue, and like all these other sounds too. And it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to, just
Sounds like
be.
it.
Yeah. It was a scene, and I think it was of its age, like I
Mm.
don't hear that happening anymore. But I'm also old, so I'm not
They're not gonna
around.
tell you. They're not gonna tell
Yeah, exactly,
you.
exactly. I wouldn't be surprised, but anyways, but
The
this
kids
will be
always find the kids always find a way. They always find a way.
yeah. I mean, before in New York, there was a lot of more like gang activity. So like it
Mm.
honestly went in hand with some of it. So some who
Ah, okay.
were like gang related, and some of them were just like friends, and they
Just
would
having
invite
fun, having a good
friends.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so that was a good moment in my life. And
Reminiscing, nostalgic. So from hooky
yeah, no, for
parties
sure.
to cumbia,
Yeah.
or from cumbia to hooky parties, back to
No,
cumbia
well,
maybe, or
I'll
how was?
say I think, like because like my high school was located in Long Island City, which
Mm-hmm,
is in Queens. Um, there used to be a place called 5pointz, which
mm-hmm,
was like a graffiti mecca
mm-hmm.
and um a hub for like culture in New York, honestly. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing like it now,
Mm-hmm,
but at the moment it was very much like magical and like yeah, very unique in its way. Because I don't know, this might be controversial, but like I feel like
oops.
because of like the the place where it was located, I think
Mm-hmm,
that was kind of like the center of the city.
mm-hmm.
Like it worked for like all people in New York City to just come together,
Mm-hmm.
in an event,
Mm-hmm.
Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, even Staten Island, I'm sure. And of course Queens, because it's in Queens, all of them were like, I feel like that was a good like a meeting point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's where a lot of the dancing competitions, dancing events will happen. I mean, other communities use this space too, like
Mm-hmm.
skaters, bikers, you name it. There was also art galleries too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess
Basically like the meetup spot, like community meetup spot for everyone to come together and enjoy
right,
music, dancing, just to be outside and experience different cultures, different
right.
vibes.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was a kid, so I didn't know how much of the organizing was, who was doing it and all of that. but I did used to just like, follow them,
Mm-hmm.
a moment in Facebook, and I see like the
Mm-hmm.
events just show up, and I feel like that was a very much like a very influential um place for me. I'll say, because that's where I got to meet like, like actual dancers.
Mm-hmm.
I was already, had my own little dance journey of my own, and I was like learning how to pop and dance. So that was like yeah, I'm mesmerizing, very like, flabbergasting space to just be in it, because it was just like unique, beautiful, and unreal. And yeah, I got to see people how to dance different genres, walking, breaking, hip hop, popping, locking, I think I already said walking, voguing,
Mm-hmm.
flexing, you name it, like all of these live feed too, very much New York, uh yeah, and I got to
We're
see it
gonna
all.
have a whole other episode of you doing like a 101 on all of those dance styles for those of us that don't know what those are.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You're
I'm
dropping the
like,
spices. Now you need to make us the recipe and show us what this meal is.
yeah. I mean, I feel like these are all disciplines, and like,
Mm-hmm.
they all have their own, histories and,
Yeah,
journeys of
of
learning too.
course. Yeah.
I know I don't know all of them, I know steps of them, but
Mm,
yeah. Yeah, and you will see like at there, like of course in that competitions, you will see them like really getting into it, and like seeing like the best of the city basically, at the moment. And yeah, it was just so beautiful, and like it was also very very much like raw, like
mm-hmm.
the space will be like the stage too,
Mm-hmm.
I remember like they were like some guy that I like, had like I think it was a flexor
Okay.
that there was a van, and also like the space was also used by it was like partially commercial use,
Mm-hmm.
but like to just like store like I guess bands, like food carts and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, like the halal carts. But anyways, there was a van right next to where the stage, which was a loading dock, um that I remember this guy just like jump inside in top of the van, and that was just like amazing. I was just like, whoa, he just like jumped from the loading dock slash stage,
Mm-hmm.
to the van and started dancing there, so it was yeah, unique, and it made a mark on my life too.
Mm.
And like I think like what I got out of it, it was just like a love for house music, um more than anything. I think I just connected with the dance, and of course the music too. I think I just learned a lot more like about just like
So a lot
uh
of those dance disciplines, the music that they're listening to is a lot of house music as well. You said hip hop as well, but a lot of house music is being played.
you mean at the competitions or
Mm-hmm.
like the events were happening? Yeah, it was, I think, yeah, it was hip hop, house, disco sometimes, um yeah, I think those were kind of like, I mean, more of course, I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
it's, you know
But that like really inspired you in that place was definitely like the house music competition.
yeah.
The music that the competitions that had a lot of house music.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just like seeing like how expressive it was,
Mm-hmm.
I personally connected with it. Not saying that like any other dances are not expressive, but
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think that's what like I clicked on, and like I picked it up from there, and I was like, yeah, I want to make it my thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So I started like learning how to dance too, and yeah, still dancing here and there, um I think I don't do it as much as before, but yeah, like it definitely still like pretty much like something that I'm like, okay, like I wanna go dance or like, at a party or
Hmm.
um, I wanna just, blast music here and I dance for myself too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess like moving on also like um I did study like DJing around 2017 just
Hmm.
because yeah, I feel like I just wanted to hear like excuse me, mixtapes,
Hmm.
mixes that were just like house and I of course there were, but I feel like I was in this I like, deep house, disco house and progressive somewhat.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to put it together or Latin house too. Um so I think like me wanting to just like have like a playlist where I could take it, and I also shout out to my cousin because he's always been the person who's been like learning along with me, you
Hmm.
know. So yeah, I know we always been pushing each other to just like, you should learn this and you should learn that. And even though we basically come from, I'd say, the same experience as I guess, us learning at the same time and seeing how there's different styles of dance. He picked up a little different style than I did. He does a lot of more floor work and I do a lot of more like um footwork, you
Hmm.
say. So it's funny to see like, we picked up different schools basically.
Shout out
Um
to the cousins.
yeah, shout
And
out.
shout out to people being different. You can
Yeah,
all
yeah,
watch
yeah.
the same thing and get a whole other experience and understanding of everything. It's
Yeah,
great.
exactly. But yeah, anyways, I think I got a little ahead of myself. 5pointz was closed, but like um
When did
they,
it close down in 2017 when you started or?
no, that was in 2000, I want to say 12, 13.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they just basically built condos on top of it. Uh,
Gentrification back again.
honestly, it still
Mm,
hurts.
I
Yeah,
can imagine.
yeah, because it was like I said it all already,
Hmm.
but imagine losing all of that.
Hmm.
It we
Definitely like
we
a
it
community cultural epicenter for a lot of people. So yeah, definitely a huge loss.
Yeah, like people all over the world knew about it, and like especially if you were like connected with like artists that were using
Hmm.
the space, you'll know it too.
Yeah.
Um, but for New York too, such a loss.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. I think after that, I think like it made me realize like also like what you know besides New York, what I come from, and what do I have, what like my people have, and yeah, it made me reflect on those things and like really wanting to learn more about myself, and like how I identify and like what are the sounds, what are the dances, that we do, because I think I never picked it up when I was in Ecuador. I would listen to music, but it wasn't like something that I was like very much like part of it.
Mm.
But yeah, I started to my cumbia journey, and for those who don't know, cumbia is it's a genre that was created in Colombia, and it has a mixture of um wind instruments and drums, so that's kind of like the medium between the black and indigenous music. And it's I think I would say that it's simple, but spiritual, and it also can be, it's also not simple too.
Mm.
But yeah, I personally was like, intrigued when I wanted to learn more about it. And uh yeah, I think like, I feel like YouTube has always been has been like the you know pinpoint started to like anything, just like
Mm.
Google it, but um yeah, I think I just started like listening to cumbia from Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, of course, Mexico, and I think those are like the sounds that you always hear with cumbia, because like psychedelic cumbia, that's from Peru, I think like I don't remember right now, but there's a specific one from Argentina too. Sonideros from Mexico too, and of course, I mean, cumbia was made in Colombia, so all the classics come from there. Um, but yeah, like, and I started like also like learning about other cumbias from other countries too, um, and oh yeah, I think this is a good pinpoint. Started, I mean, a good place to shout out um all the folks from Maku Sound System, which today some of the members are in Como Chimbita. So shout outs to them.
Mm.
Um, they were,
Amazing band, amazing band.
yeah, amazing. They're killing it. They're amazing. And they just did they've been touring. But if any, yeah, anyone should check them out. Their
We'll
sound is,
definitely put a link to their music in the caption for the video.
oh yeah, there you go. Hey, um, yeah, I got to basically meet them, and like they kind of like got me into also just like more music, but especially vinyl. Like, they had a love for vinyl, and I remember like one of the members, Felipe, and Camilo, wanting to start a event that was inviting to folks to um listen to vinyl, and then I wasn't really DJing. This, I think, was like 2015, something like that. And yeah, I learned to like also love vinyl too, because I
Mm-hmm.
saw the love that they have for music, and and like how much they can learn from it too. Um, yeah, either if it's by the stories in the cover, like the names in the sleeves, that you want to see who's the bassist, la la la, I mean, they're pretty much musicians, so they pay honor to those things too. So it was like really good to like learn how they do it, as musicians. um yeah, and yeah, mm, I will start like collecting more vinyl, and um started, giving myself like little goals. Like, I live in Queens, so like I want to go to all the Queens like record shops, in at least like, well, Queens is pretty big, but at least like what I can cover, or like around my neighborhood,
And there's like
which
a
I
good amount of vinyl shops to check out there.
um there's less now, but
Mm.
yeah, there used to be more, definitely. Um yeah, I think like three of them closed. Well, two, because one reopened, but yeah,
Mm. Well, that's good
yeah,
that it
yeah, yeah,
reopened.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, like little by little, like, and I started like just like focusing more on cumbia, And you know, I think like even here, like the vinyl scene in New York has like, well, vinyl, Latin music, but especially cumbia
Mm-hmm.
scene has grown so much from like that, let's say 2015. I mean, folks were holding it down before, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like that was my entry point to just like learning about it, you know.
And
Um
then, not to cut you off, but for the sake of time, so I
yeah,
would love to know more about
sum me up.
how you got so how you got into mixing in your DJing with your vinyl passion. How did that come about?
Right. Um like yeah, we're around the same time, and like that was exactly the next thing. Yeah, I didn't at that moment, like I didn't really see much in vinyl DJing. I like to collecting it,
Mm-hmm.
but I started like learning how to, I mean, learning how to DJ and DJing house music, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because that was like that has always been my thing, and that's what I was like dancing to, and you know, yeah, just jamming it even in, you know, in my on the train, you know. Um, but once I started, I um I felt the need to also just like, you know, I should also play records, and I should just like, you know, select this, you know, records and play it for people. My yeah, and like my first gig was like also like a friend that was like teaching me. Oh yeah, Nick, we went to school together, film school actually,
Aha.
and it all started at the same time. Honestly, I started film school. I started to DJ, you know, and like folks started supporting me to like do those things, you know. And I was going jumping between, you know, um, DJing in digitally and records, you know. Um, of course, for records will be like more of a selection. Um, but yeah, that was like around the same time, and I think I from there I've always kept, you know, DJing. I think like you know, I have my taken like in the beginning a little bit of a break, but like that has always been like pretty consistent along with my dance, you know. But yeah, that's kind of like the spiel, and how I started when what I've been, you know, up to there. But you know, now I have my own parties.
When's the
One
next one?
actually is this Friday.
Okay, this Friday.
Literally,
If any of you are in Queens, New York, or if anybody wants to send the jet, we want to go to the party too. You can put more information about the party happening on Friday as well. We can also share that.
yeah. Um, yeah, I have few parties, but I think like the one that has like really I've been like focusing more, I guess, just to like, you know, make it an actual party, because the other ones are just kind of, well, not to make it like a less of a thing, but um you know, the other ones are, I like to just invite someone to play records with me, and it could be something that is more like older, you know,
Mm-hmm.
60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, you name it. More like on the bolero side of it, you know, so it's more, yeah, like, you know, old music. Um, yeah, so that's one, but like the one that I really have been focusing on, I put in like I guess more resources, and it has been growing as I've been making it. This is gonna be the third one, and yeah, people,
Congrats.
yeah, it's called the sales, and yeah, people are also like asking me, like, which is really good, like response, in terms of like, you know, them wanting to get involved or like asking me for help, you know, and I think something that I've been thinking about has been like bringing on vendors as well.
Mm.
Um, which shout out Mate. Mate is the person who is hosting Friday. Um, but yeah, they're very much, um the person who was like telling me, asking me if there's gonna be vendors. And I been thinking about it, but I haven't really been, I guess like putting on that much effort because I know I'm working in like small spaces. They're not like big venues or anything, and especially the place where I've been doing it. Shout out to Gastropub is in Jackson Heights. Has been a really good place to do it, but also it's very much like cozy.
Mm.
But yeah, we're trying out a different spot this Friday, which is gonna be a little bit bigger. But after that, they're closing,
Oh.
and they're opening it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
with
Closing
new
but reopening. It's
management.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, with new management. So let's see how that goes. So I'm hoping in
Hmm.
the future we can actually do that, bring vendors
Hmm.
and all.
And those
As I said,
parties, the party on Friday, like what's the music selection? Because you were saying like the other parties that you're having are more like 60s to now, like slower vibes. What's going to be
right.
like the musical vibe of this one?
This one is very much I'll say like I just bring my friends,
Mm.
like
You're playing
whatever.
music for your people.
Yeah, exactly. So people that I respect, people that are like my friends, people that I look up to, I want to bring them there,
Hmm.
and like the first one was um shout out to Riobamba, and Canelazo, who are Equa, but their their sets were amazing,
Hmm.
incorporated from like disco, dembow, reggaeton, so it had a little bit of everything,
Hmm.
merengue, so,
And this is a
um,
vinyl party as well, or this is a mix of vinyl and digital, or only digital?
I think it is depends like who I invite,
Okay.
because like the the person who the first one, no, nobody plays vinyl but me, but like I also
Mm.
sometimes, I'm like, well, if everyone's playing digital, I'm just gonna play digital,
Yeah. Mm.
because I usually have to bring my own equipment,
Yeah.
and that takes a little bit of work. Um, yeah, that's like the pre-production side of all of
Hmm.
the parties. But yeah, and like for instance, the second one, it was my friend Talacha who plays vinyls, and he wanted to do a mix of both,
Hmm.
which was interesting too, because I guess beforehand I wasn't sure he was gonna do digital or vinyl, but he wrote his own thing, and then he played vinyl too, so he was jumping back and forth. And Mari
Mm.
too, who really hold it down. She's from the Bay, um, and yeah, she holds it down there too. I definitely want to go visit too. But for this one is yeah, other friends too that I've known for a bit now. They're being part of the scene. Lalin, Laura se fue, and my brother, which
Nice.
has been, yeah, he has his own story too. He was like DJing when he was like probably 16, 15,
Mm.
in Ecuador with CDs, which
Mm. Whole
um
different experience.
yeah. Um yeah. So
Does he
those are
DJ now with CDs?
no.
Ah, I was like,
No.
that's kind of cool though.
I mean, he still has his like little, like book of
Hmm.
CDs, and like I'm sure he burns some music from there to like,
Mm.
play it now because his collection was like really cool. He
Mm.
played a lot of techno, which was like what was popping then, like 2000s. Yeah, and all the other genre, salsa, merengue, you know. But yeah, so he's playing there too. That's gonna be exciting. Oh, and it's his birthday. We're gonna be celebrating his birthday, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah. He's the one who actually connected me with like the spot. He
Okay.
wanted to try it out. Mm-hmm. So he's the person who's been like in contact with the owner.
That's
But
awesome.
uh-huh.
And a great way to celebrate a birthday.
Yeah, so yeah, let me do the plugging now. The sale is this Friday. Whoever's up to here and is watching this,
There's a few people.
please. Yeah, yeah. If you're in New York, please come through. It's gonna be a beautiful party. We're gonna be celebrating Virgos and some of the Leos that still it's still his birthday. So yeah, come through. It's gonna be a good time, and it's gonna be in Sunnyside, Queens, arriba. Yeah, and I think I could give you that info. So,
Yeah, definitely let us know. And I'll put it in the caption as well.
but yeah, this is gonna be also an ongoing thing. So, we'll bring it again. Oh my God, I almost forgot. My friend Sam is also the person who she's like my partner in crime for this. Um, who is the person who is being emceeing on the mic? Like I think that's something that I haven't been seeing much, and that I've been wanting to try because I know her energy is very vibrant. So I know when she gets on the mic, it's she's just gonna hype it up,
and make it a good vibe.
yeah, exactly. And it's about to like, taking it up and up and up, and have
It
a good
sounds like
experience.
it's gonna be fun. So you're gonna have to live stream us in. We're gonna have like a special episode live stream from the party. For those of us that can't, you like overselling it. So now it's like I want to go. We need to know. We need the live stream.
Good. Well, when you're in the area, definitely come through too.
Fingers crossed.
Or
Fingers crossed.
yeah. Feel free to hit me up.
I will do so. So
If you
before
want.
we wrap up, I know you did want to share a little bit more about flow and sound.
Yeah, well, I guess like also that's another thing that I been working on has been into making well, it is a little bit of my own company, but like I've been working for film, for 5 years, and that has been another thing that I've been really thinking about how to fit it in with like all the DJing stuff, and as it all came kind of like together at the same time, I really decided to like that, there was a point in my life where I needed to decide, am I gonna have like a bunch of like, DJ equipment, speakers, sound system, blah, 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 and cameras, I looked at that. So I decided really not to take that route too, because like my brother is also a DP, a camera person. He's good, in that sense. So I always thought about like us like working together too. So I yeah. Um at some point I think I seek for mentorship. So to one of my friends that I went to school with. Shout outs Vera. Vera, you're amazing. Um yeah, but she showed me kind of like the ways of like, what do I need in terms of equipment and all of that. So that was really nice to have that support and just that like access to also, being able to connect with folks in the industry. And that's one of the things like also like in the industry here is very much about relationships. I'm sure anyway, but yeah, I think like I was doing like, just PA production assistant work before that. And then, I worked in a wood shop before. So I was able to transfer those skills into the art department of like film sets. But in this case we're like more commercial. So things like Home Depot, And so, and and I'll build the sets,
That's awesome. You do the whole set production.
Yeah. But it was a little
Amazing.
different. I say, like, for instance, like for the workshop that I
Mm,
used to work at, um, you be very like high end stuff, like very deep
mm,
stuff. But in film, especially if it's a set and they're just looking at it from the front,
mm-hmm.
they just want you to put a screw and that's it, because
Like just
I'll be
hold it down for a few minutes.
yeah, exactly. And I'll be like putting like three. I'm on my third one. They're like, "What are you doing? We just need one. We're gonna take it for
We're
it." I
gonna
was like,
kick this down in an hour. What are you doing?
yeah, but I was so used to,
Yeah.
that being, particular, making it good, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like right before the pandemic, I think that's when I um seek for that mentorship. And from there, yeah, I've been doing sound ever since. I've been doing it 3 years. Sound for film, documentaries, um, film. I think I already said film, but yeah, narrative films and commercial and live streams sometimes, which are sometimes like the most overwhelming, but they're the most fun sometimes too.
Mm,
All of them are, though, in its own ways.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those are the things, I've been able to work with, like, New Year Nico, which is one of the best, like, I think, experiences, like working in film and just being um yeah, I don't know how to even like
Is
say
that
it,
a
but
production company or I've never heard of it?
oh, New York Nico is an influencer
Aha. Okay.
here in, of course, New York. And I got to
Not
work
from Japan?
and I
Okay.
got to work in his film. And actually, it's in YouTube. You should check it out. It's called Out of Order.
Out of
And
order.
yeah, and it's kind of like a mockery or slash like a comedy on, like, how people cannot find, on there is not like public toilets in New York. And
Mm.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But yeah, like, go see it. It's really good. I did sound on that and it was so much fun. I got to bring one of my friends, who is a really good person who's like getting into camera work and stuff. My friend Chuya Vida, shout outs. She held it down with, like, she was my boom operator. So
Aha.
um that was one of the only times that I got a boom operator too. So that was fun.
Mm.
It's usually just me, you know. But yeah, and I think, like, I'm transitioning into, like, also writing my something to actually produce, because, like, my friend, the one that I'm telling you about, like, I think she has inspired me to, yeah, like, to tell our own stories through film as well. And yeah, I think that's something that it's, coming up in the future too. I really want to do it. I've done some stuff, but has been kind of like more for school,
Mm.
and since I just been working on people's projects, haven't really focused on something of my own.
Cool. So we have some
Yeah,
films to look forward to from you.
well, we'll
Fingers
see.
crossed.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's
Okay. We'll wait. Well, the suspense. We'll wait for it. So
yeah.
just to wrap up a little bit, this is the time of the show where you're passing the mic. You shouted a couple people from your party, from influences. Is there anybody else that you think that people should be listening to right now? Or people that you think they shouldn't be listening to, but should probably just check out to know who they are?
Yeah, actually, maybe yeah. My friend Lalin, because she's from um Nicaragua.
Mm-hmm.
So um yeah, I don't think like a lot of Nicaraguan people gets like, represented. So
Yeah, it's great.
mm, yeah, I think she could be someone that you can reach out and maybe talk to. But yeah,
Cool. You got to put
I
us
would
in
love to
contact.
hear.
Send me the links. Try to see what
Yeah,
we can do.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
And she's playing on Friday, so yeah.
At this party that's going to be live streamed. It's going to be a special Pass the Mic collaboration. I wish, I wish. Well, don't forget to send a link for her. And thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of Pass the Mic. We'll definitely get this episode up as soon as possible for everyone to see and share information on how you can learn more about the parties, the music, the sound, the film, everything that we've talked about. Definitely reference it in the caption. Thank you again so much for being here and having the time to share with us. Any
Yeah,
final
no,
words?
no, not really. I think, yeah, not really. Just, I appreciate the spotlight. This, it's really nice to
Absolutely.
just say your story, like you said, and I appreciate you doing this as well. So thank you, Revuelta.
Thank you for thanking me. And thank you once again. So, everybody, thanks for watching, and we will see you again for the next episode. Bye, guys.